Today on This Week in Jacksonville, asking the question out loud, can the ideas surrounding development in downtown Jacksonville come together with a unified plan? Steve Atkins joins us to talk about his billion-dollar proposal. Plus, city council candidates in the special election to replace Tommy Hazouri. You'll meet both James Coach Jacobs and Howdy Russell. And feeding Northeast Florida during the holidays, the challenges the organization is facing and how you can help on This Week in Jacksonville. Thanks for being with us. We're closing in on a special election in the city of Jacksonville. Voters need to replace the late Tommy Hazouri on city council. There are 4 candidates running for the at-large Group 3 seat, and we introduced you to 2 of them last week. Today, we begin, that is, with Republican Howdy Russell and what he wants to bring to the council. He says he's definitely not a politician, and he's never run for political office before.
Generally, trust in city government is waning. And we need to pick that back up. The constituents need to feel like the representatives are actually representing them versus going off and taking care of their own agendas, whether it's being upwardly mobile, that they're looking for other political aspirations, or whether it's potentially gaining financially, maybe not directly, but indirectly by the things that happen at city council. I'm not interested in either one of those things. I'm really interested in, I love Jacksonville, been in Jacksonville since 1989, and I just want what's best for Jacksonville.
In reference to the things that would make the best for Jacksonville, what are those priority areas? What are the things that you want to see happen if you're able to participate in that 19-member city council?
I think the number one responsibility of government, but specifically a city government, is public safety. It's the public protection of the people and their assets. So I'm definitely absolutely pro-police, especially from the standpoint of taking care of the constituency, taking care of property, taking care of people. But I also think that there's a component of that has to do with good fiduciary responsibility. I think that as a city council and as the people that are leading the city, that we have to not necessarily establish a cultural change in the city, although that might be necessary and it might be asked for by the constituency. If it's asked for or demanded by the constituency, we should press that way. But what we really need to do is take care of the things that are already theirs, the tax money that they're providing. We need to take care of that. Something that I just, as an example, one of the things that led me to the point where you're interviewing me today, Kent, is I saw a city council meeting where city councilmen ended up gaining $800,000 for their nonprofits. And why they may be great nonprofits, I just questioned whether or not that was the best use of that amount of money. And if that's exactly what the constituency would have preferred versus a competitive process to go head to head against other nonprofits to see if that would have been the right move to do. I think that we need a city council that is thinking that way, is thinking of that fiduciary responsibility. Evidently, we had enough money to give $800,000 to nonprofits just on a kind of a quick vote, a sudden vote, and yet we still needed to install a 0.5% extra tax on our sales tax, and we needed to install the gas tax that we did because there wasn't enough money. So either we have enough money that we can do those kinds of rich moves, or we don't have the money that we needed to raise additional taxes for, which means we shouldn't have had those kinds of votes.
So for anyone sitting out there who's weighing whether or not they're even going to vote in a special election, what's your final statement to them on why they should vote and why they should vote to you?
I'm the outsider. I'm the insider outsider. I'm the insider in that I'm a Jacksonville guy. I remember when I first met Tommy Hazouri in 1989, his daughter worked for me in a restaurant. Great guy, politically different party, but very much focused in on what's good for Jacksonville. And that's me. So the reason why you'd want to vote for me is because I'm for Jacksonville. I'm for the things that the constituency wants versus just what I think ought to happen. So you're up for representative government now. You'll have a guy who's servant-hearted. I love serving the people of Jacksonville, and a guy who's going to take care of business. I'm going to ask those questions that an outsider would ask, and it might make some people on the inside a little less comfortable.
Also running for the seat is Democrat James Jacobs. He goes by Coach and told me that he wants to redefine us to include all ethnic groups in the city.
Jacksonville has a very diverse population, and sometimes certain communities feel left out. And I want to bring everyone together, because when you're together, there's nothing you can't get done. I know it sounds cliche, but as a coach, I preach that with my students. You can't do everything alone. You must do it together to gain success.
So how do you accomplish that from a city council seat or as a city leader? How do you bring people together in the way you're describing?
I think it starts first and foremost with anything, communication. Willing to listen, willing to, point out certain things, willing to reach across the aisle, because you have to have a bipartisan approach. This can't be about, I'm a Democrat, Republican, Independent. It has to be about the goal, our city, which comes first, and the issues that our city faces.
Tell me about some of those important issues that you see facing the city of Jacksonville.
Wow, dear to my heart. As you know, one of our biggest issues to me is our special needs and senior services programs in our city, which needs to be more of a priority. And I will say improving our economic development opportunities in Northwest Jacksonville, which was promised at consolidation, which has not materialized.
Is there a particular effort that you would take if you're elected to the city council position to try and invigorate that, to restart that, or get it started for the first time, if that's your opinion?
Yes, it is. I mean, when you talk about economic development, the first step of economic development is a job. And so starting that communication with the other 18 council members is the start. Again, you can't do this alone. It takes 10 votes to get anything passed, as you know. And I believe working along with the other council persons, we can get anything done.
Coach, at the start of our visit, you mentioned you want everybody represented and that we're culturally, ethnically diverse in Jacksonville. Do you feel like there are some groups of people that aren't represented or aren't heard from when it comes to leadership in city council?
Well, yes, I feel by listening to the constituents that diversity is key. We need more diversity on our city council. We need more because when you have more diversity, you have a different outlook from different demographics, different angles, different ways of you were brought up and born. So that is key.
Coach, if somebody is considering whether or not to even vote in this because it's a special election, what's your final pitch to them? What's the final word you would say to them on why they should vote and why they should vote to you?
I am 20 years of educating and working with our children and seniors in our city for 20 plus years in Duval County. I have observed, witnessed, hands-on the many challenges that face our community. I have a grasp scope of it, being not only a certified athletic coach, but also an EMT and first responder. I have the firsthand experience as a servant leader and inherent knowledge of the dangers and the challenges citizens encounter in our everyday struggles to survive in our city. And voting for me will be like voting for just an average, everyday guy. Someone who's willing to come in and get the work and not worry about titles, power, the politics of it. Someone who was willing and has done by putting the people first.
The special unitary election takes place December 7th, and you just heard from two of the candidates. Last week, we hosted the other two candidates, Nick Howland and Tracy Polson. You can see their interviews with me on newsforjacks.com. If no candidate earns 50% of plus one vote, then there will be a general election scheduled for February 22nd next year. Well, growth and development in downtown, could things be coming together? Steve Atkins has a vision and a plan next on This Week in Jacksonville.
Over the years, people have asked me, how did your firm get so big? The answer is simple. We won a lot. In this business, you grow by winning. As America's largest injury law firm, we have more lawyers than any other injury firm. Morgan & Morgan.
Grandma, how wide are two reindeer? 27, 28, 29.
We've been waiting all year to come together.
It worked!
Have a happy and safe holiday season from Lexus.
On Wednesday, December 1st, we are kicking off our annual toy drive, and we need your help. Beginning at 7 a.m., we'll collect new, unwrapped toys for Toys for Tots. While you're shopping this week, please buy a toy for a child in need and drop it off here at Channel 4 on Wednesday. Stop by between 7 in the morning and 7 at night.
Hi, honey.
Hi, Mommy.
Oh, I missed you.
You just want to video call the kids.
Okay. Hush, little baby.
Don't say a word. But if slow upload speeds turn your good night call into an accidental horror movie,
Can you hear me?
shut it down. Just remember, you're not a bad mom. You just need better internet.
AT&T Fiber delivers faster upload speeds for more reliable video calls. Get AT&T Fiber, plan starting at $35 a month for a year. Limited availability in select areas. Call 1-877 only ATT.
Enter the magical world of childlike imagination during the First Coast Nutcracker with the Jacksonville Symphony, December 17th, 18th, and 19th. Call 354-5547 or go to jacksymphony.org to get your First Coast Nutcracker tickets today.
I did some early shopping this year. One for you, one for me.
I love it. I got us a little something, too.
Yeah?
Yep. One for you and one for me.
I love it.
Oh, actually, that would...
I love it.
I like red.
Get $2,300 purchase allowance on 2021 Sierra Light Duty Crew Cab models when you finance through GM Financial. Plus, current eligible GMC owners get an additional $250 purchase allowance. We are professional grade. GMC.
You never know when an accident will happen, but one thing's for sure, you can call us anytime, day or night, 24/7. Farah and Farah.
Thank you for once again making News 4 Jacks your #1 choice for local news. When you want results, you turn to the I-Team.
Dozens of people came to us claiming he stole thousands of dollars. Today, here at federal court, pleading guilty.
You look to the weather authority during disruptive weather.
This is a gale watch. This is a flood watch.
Day in and day out, we're here working for you.
And from morning till night, you trust Channel 4 as your #1 local news station. Thank you.
You're watching This Week in Jacksonville with Kent Justice.
As you know, it's the end of 2021. By 2025, we could see a very different downtown Jacksonville. This week, I spoke with Steve Atkins, principal of the Southeast Development Group, about various development projects underway and under review.
It's really an exciting time, Kent. As you mentioned, there's other projects that are in the midst of getting started. They're all great steps in moving our downtown forward. What we proposed was a illustrative master plan, a concept for a master plan to help manage bringing those individual projects together in a more cohesive way. I think everybody has the same intentions. We all want to see a great downtown, whether it's North Bank, South Bank, or collectively as a whole. What we want to make sure that we're doing is bridging the gap, if you will, between any of those individual projects. There's a lot of desire for parks, and we need new infrastructure for those types of things. So our group has actually come forward and offered different aspects to bringing capital to the table, different potential opportunities for development in different nodes of downtown to help bring all of that together. One of the things that you find in our peer cities that makes them very successful when they undertake one of these really large scale developments is they start with a master plan that really articulates how all the different parts and pieces work together.
So when I saw the headline last month and it said $2 billion, what does that mean? What kind of costs are associated with a master plan?
So it really, that's an estimate for what a very large scale plan could overarchingly total as it relates to infrastructure, new parks, new buildings, both the public and the private sector development programs. The city already has a lot of those things in mind in terms of new infrastructure and improvements, parks and so forth, and they have dollars allocated for that in their budget. But it doesn't necessarily get us all the way there. So this is really working with our capital partners, Goldman Sachs and Piper Sandler, to help bring all the tools to the table to help make those things happen, whether it be supplementing our TIF fund or bonding money at a specific low rate to help the city, or bringing in federal dollars for infrastructure, as we all know, is a lot of has just been passed. So it's an opportunity to bring all of that to the table.
When it comes to putting together a master plan, so there's got to be lots of moving pieces when you're talking about different development companies. You've got to work with the local government, the city government. How does this tie into maybe even what the Downtown Investment Authority for Jacksonville does?
So this is what the Downtown Investment Authority does in large part. What we're hoping is they'll see the value of the private sector bringing capital to the table to really form a true public-private partnership, so that the assets that the city owns already and the abilities that the city has in making those properties and land available can be married to the capital that can be brought to the table by the private sector, along with some of the expertise in order to help development of the area in the most efficient and effective way. It really needs to be a partnership. The city has limited resources, as we always know, and even being able to completely digest what we proposed. We've had a couple meetings with the DIA, and they've been very positive. They've asked us to help them understand what all those components in this master plan mean, and asked us particularly if we'll focus on some initial parts and pieces that we can move forward sooner than later. So that's really the process that we're going through now with the DIA.
Downtown Vision recently had their kind of annual report, and a great visit here on This Week in Jacksonville with Jake Gordon a few weeks ago. One of the things he brought up is, we're excited about what can happen downtown. Yeah, we know that the reputation is lots of proposals and not much progress. What is it that in your mind invigorates you and says, you know what? Jacksonville can be this great thing. What gives you the optimism and the pursuit of changes there in downtown?
I'm a native of Jacksonville. I grew up here. I've seen downtown from its ups and its downs. I've been active in the downtown market, as you know, for a number of years. We redeveloped the Barnett building. It was been hugely successful. We're getting ready to start the Laura Street Trio project, and we'll have some announcements the first week of December about that are going to be very exciting, even adding to that program. We have had nothing but positive feedback from the public in terms of what we've presented. And I know that there's a tremendous amount of energy focused on downtown right now, probably more than there's ever been. People want to be downtown. And for Jacksonville to succeed as a city, we obviously have to have a downtown that's representative of that. We need a great downtown, and to lure additional businesses to the region. And really, from a cultural standpoint, it is the epicenter of entertainment and everything that we really represent here in Jacksonville. So I am bullish on downtown. I have been for a long time, even before it was popular. And I will continue to be. I am absolutely convinced that if we work together, particularly with the public and the private sector, bringing their strengths to the table together, we can absolutely have a great downtown.
Coming up, the impacts of the supply chain issues on those struggling for food. Susan King from Feeding Northeast Florida next on This Week in Jacksonville.
We want people to feel that when they call Harrell and Harrell, they're calling Harrell and Harrell. They're not calling a satellite office or a call center or getting an automated phone system. We are with our clients, fighting for our clients, handling the process ourselves, and not asking others to do that for us. I mean, we feel like we made the right decision to be the size that we are, large enough to take on anyone, but small enough to care and really know our clients.
Veterans, you may have earned a variety of VA benefits. Did you know VA can help you further your education and pursue professional training? The Home Loan Guarantee Program can help you buy, repair, or adapt a home. VA provides housing support if you find yourself homeless or at risk of homelessness. And don't forget world-class health care. Learn more about these and other VA benefits. Visit choose.va.gov.
It's time to find your next Chevy truck and forge ahead. Take on new challenges and take it to the next level. It's the perfect time to do more in your next Chevy. Find new possibilities, find new roads. Very well-qualified buyers can get 2.49% financing and $1,000 cash allowance on this Silverado. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy Cyber Cash on most Silverado 1500 Crew Cab pickups.
Republican Nick Howland is the trusted leader we need. A Navy veteran, businessman, and father, Nick shares our values and is ready to lead. That's why Sheriff Mike Williams, Congressman John Rutherford, and the Fraternal Order of Police have endorsed him. He'll fight violent crime, strengthen our economy, and work to improve every neighborhood. Nick Howland will serve us, not the special interests. On December 7th, vote Republican Nick Howland for City Council.
How to save money on your heating bill.
You're going to keep that warm air in and that cold air out.
With fuel costs on the rise, simple ways to stay warm and cozy. Next, Inside Edition.
Monday at 7:30 on Channel 4, the local station.
Wow.
Think they'll take our case? Hi, Mr. Cooper. Here for your injury case?
We're just regular people.
Oh, at Morgan & Morgan, we treat all our clients like VIPs.
I think this means we're famous now.
Just got my Benjamins.
Follow me?
You don't have to be famous to hire America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan.
You're watching This Week in Jacksonville on Channel 4.
Susan King leads Feeding Northeast Florida. We spoke this week about how food banks are dealing with the challenges of supply chain issues.
The supply chain issues are affecting us, and more recently in a significant way. So, for example, as an organization that is in fact trucks and drivers and warehousing, we've seen a 58% increase in the cost of fuel over these last few months. There's a driver shortage that is impacting our work ability to keep our trucks on the road. Things like the inability to get new equipment. For example, we had 2 of our trucks, which represents about 15-20% of our fleet, that are coming off lease this month, and we can't replace them either with a lease truck or with a purchase truck until at least next summer. So there's some pretty significant impacts for us. We also purchase food, and we've seen the same kind of increases in our food costs as we are all seeing in the grocery store. Most importantly, the people that we're serving are being significantly impacted by rising prices. We had seen a little bit of improvement earlier on in the year as things started to stabilize and people were returning to work. But remember that the people that we're serving are typically the working poor, or people who have hit those speed bumps in life, like a car repair or an illness or some time out of work. They just don't have savings that can cover those kind of emergencies. So they are significantly impacted when a bigger portion of those already stretched dollars are required to purchase food and pay rent and pay utilities.
Yeah. Susan, so I'm asking about supply chain issues, but I also hear what you're saying is the rising inflation is going to have an impact on some people more than others. Yeah, I don't like paying $5 for a gallon of milk at the grocery store or whatever, but that can be devastating, it sounds like, to some people in our community.
It absolutely can. I mean, we can go dip into our savings and cover those increased costs for a time. But when dollars only stretch so far, a family doesn't have the ability to do that. And so they are forced to make those very difficult decisions about who's going to eat tonight. And am I going to take a half of my medication prescription because I can't afford to fill the whole thing? These are real decisions that families, seniors, veterans, our community is making every day.
Pandemic has to be like the double whammy. I know a lot of folks are like, yay, we're kind of moving past it, hopefully. But what's been the impact on what Feeding Northeast Florida does and the need because of what's happened in the last year and a half?
It's been what we've all seen. It started with empty grocery store shelves. We've seen need increase dramatically. I will tell you that the people that we serve, when they saw those empty shelves and our trucks were empty also, they panicked. As you might imagine, when you rely on a charity food system that suddenly may not be there for you, it's worrisome, and I think the people that we've been serving have felt this kind of stress for these almost 2 years.
Obviously, we've got a very giving community in our area and those 8 counties you talked about. So people hear this today and they say, what do I do to help? What's the answer to that?
Well, the answer for us always is volunteer. We rely so heavily on volunteers who help us sort and package and distribute the food that moves through our warehouse. We also, of course, donate, because we can stretch a dollar a lot further than you can. And we also don't want to impact the supply chain any more than it already is. And then advocate. I mean, we all need to be aware that hunger is a solvable problem. And we need to make our legislators aware that there are hungry people in our community and there are things that we can do that can help. So those 3 things: advocate, donate, and of course, volunteer.
Great advice there on how you can be part of a solution. I hope you had a very good Thanksgiving week. I think local TV legend Ken Amaro did. The longtime journalist is an icon in our area, and he is retiring. He was honored at City Council this past Tuesday, and he's going to join us soon here on the show. This Week in Jacksonville airs each Sunday morning at this time. So glad you joined us today. I'm Kent Justice. Thanks for watching on air on Channel 4 and the CW17. And you can find other episodes online at news4jax.com.
See why every day more people are choosing News 4 JAX, Northeast Florida and South Georgia's #1 source for local news.